all my details. Streaming URL and the key. And we are also going to open up the Q&A. So the way I like to handle these is at any moment you have a question, drop it in the Q&A. It can get lost in the chat pane. So just drop it in the Q&A. And if other people see your question and they like it, they can upvote it and I'll go off the top upvotes. This is going to be a 10,000 foot view of HubSpot marketing campaigns, but I'm going to give you some really good secrets towards the end. So I hope you all stick around for that. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that Q&A and let those questions roll in. All right. Through the whole chat. I'm not going to look at them. I'm not going to pay attention to them. But again, if you just joined us, drop in the chat pane where you're located from. And let's have some fun. First, our agenda, intros. Who am I? What are we doing? Why are we here? Who sponsors and backs up the Huntsville Hug? Then we're going to dive into what it is, where to find it, and some really cool things about the marketing campaigns itself. And then future events, we always take feed input from you all. So shoot me a message on LinkedIn, shoot me an email, justin@imageinabox.com, or really just ask me anything. That's the beauty of these Huntsville Hugs. It's not, we throw the topics together, but we also take a lot of input from you all. And with that, I love that I see a global presence, or not a global, a national presence here. We do these in person as well. Today we are not, but our local sponsor is, our host sponsor is the Huntsville Madison County Builders Association, HMCBA. They are an awesome partner for the Huntsville Hug. They always welcome us in their spaces. They just have a huge event this week and next week, so we didn't want to add more chaos to their day. We also have our partner from this is Simple Events. Simple Events is a one and only event platform that's built for HubSpot, only for HubSpot, and it works across every single HubSpot account. They have awesome details of which you can learn more. I'm going to drop that in the chat pane, as we like to say in the academy. But that you can learn more about that tool. It is a great tool to run and manage your entire event process, from virtual events to online events to in-person events as well. With that, I want to welcome you all. My name is Justin Givens. I am the Director of Possibilities over at Image in a Box, and we love helping businesses maximize HubSpot. HubSpot is a huge, powerful engine that you can bring into your business. And I just want you to understand that this is just one nugget of what HubSpot does. HubSpot does so many things for your business, from the sales side to the marketing side. And what Image in a Box does is partner with you all to streamline your sales and marketing processes. With that, as I said, if you ever got a question, drop it in the chat pane. It is here so we can help each other. We can share knowledge, and you can get the most out of this awesome platform. A little backstory. I have been using HubSpot since 2017. I have seen the platform grow, change, and adapt to the market. And is one of those things is this presentation will probably be outdated in a year because they're always advancing. And what's funny is I've done this presentation, I'd say a couple years ago. All the screenshots were wrong and outdated. It was bad. So you got the fresh screenshots here. With that, what is HubSpot Campaigns, sometimes referred to as marketing campaigns? What is it and where can we find it? That's what we're going to talk about today. What are some great features of the campaign tool? What do most people get wrong with it? And last and not least, some advanced tactics that I want to show you, and some general rules of practice that I want to give you as well, to helping you streamline and keep yourself organized in HubSpot. As we all know, it's very easy to clone an email, clone a social post, and the next thing you know, you're like, wait a minute, that didn't really go out the way I wanted it to, or it's not named the right way, and you see email 55555, clone. That's what we don't want to get into, okay? So what is, diving into our first topic, the HubSpot marketing campaign. This is the beautiful campaign tool now. It gives you a snapshot almost at a 4 or 5,000 foot view of how everything is going for that marketing campaign. All right. The tools to help businesses centralize their marketing efforts, providing them a quick view into their traffic from email, from social, to landing pages, to form submissions, to call to action clicks, all that details. And it all integrates seamlessly in HubSpot to enhance your tracking, even if you're doing marketing. And we'll talk about that later. Even if you're doing marketing outside of HubSpot. So you might have some billboards, you might have some print media, you even might have direct mail. How can you attribute and track? This is where the marketing campaigns comes in. And additionally, it delivers real-time insights for your campaign reporting. And then it also gives you the ability to compare campaign to campaign and see how you're doing. This tool, I'm not going to give it enough credit because I don't know if you all are using it. So go ahead and put in the chat pane right now if you're already using marketing campaigns. So yes, using campaigns, no, using campaigns. I like it, James. That's awesome. Ha. Awesome. So we've got a 50-50. Yes, I like it, Kathy. Being honest, thank you. A little no. All right. So I want everybody right now, because I'm going to make this a little more interactive, put in the chat pane. Not yet. I like that, Monique. Put in the chat pane what they think a campaign means. What does it really equal? All right. And what I will tell you is if you come from any other platform and you're now in HubSpot, if you come from any other platform like ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, Constant Contact, they all use these words campaign, but they all use them differently. So all it does is just confuse the day-to-day marketer to figure out like what is actually going on here, folks. And so I tell you that because no one wanted to guess. But a marketing campaign is actually a collection of assets. It is everything that you're doing to drive business. Okay. Now, campaigns can be very, very high level, meaning top of the funnel, or they can be very, very low funnel. I'm trying to drive that, book a demo, book a meeting, download XYZ. Top of the funnel might be more of your XYZs, get this information, give me something to get something, right? That is a full collection. But when you think about marketing campaigns, HubSpot campaigns specifically, the problem that most people think is like, oh, well, I'm just writing a blog post. Why are you writing that blog post? What's the goal to it? Does it not have a call to action in that blog post? Or I'm doing social posts just to do social posts. Yes, there is a point to doing a lot of social posts. One, to game the system, but then to also help your authority and your ranking. But then two, if you're linking back to your website, or if you got a website link on, say, LinkedIn or Facebook, and you're not tracking and measuring, it's just going into the other buckets, right? But we all have campaigns, no matter what type of business you have. We all have a set of goals that can be grouped into a marketing campaign execution. And this is why the HubSpot marketing tool of campaigns is awesome, because when you think about, hey, I'm going to do, and I'm going to look forward to the future, a summer campaign. One, don't ever try to run a campaign right now, last minute, and try to figure it all out. You're going to be like, well, I don't need to do that again. That was just wasted time. But when you're thinking about it in the future, as you say, summer 2024, I'm a B2B brand and I've got a demo. Okay. So my goal for the campaign is going to say, I want to book more demos. The campaign name is going to be 2024 summer, or maybe some tagline that I'm using in the entire campaign itself is like save time. So save time campaign, or save time this summer. And then I'm going to put some date ranges in saying it's going to start May and it's going to go through August. Now, setting that up is going to give me an idea. Okay, now that I've got this overarching campaign, now what needs to go in it? And what we think about is, well, I need to send some emails. I need to do some social posts. I might need a form with it. I don't know. But this is how you need to think and saying when you go to the marketing tool, when you go to the campaigns tool, it's right underneath marketing. You have to have, I meant to say this earlier, I apologize. You have to have Marketing Hub Pro or Enterprise. This Marketing Campaigns is not in the starter. And I just wanted to make sure everybody's aware of that. But when you're thinking of that collective execution, grouping everything into one campaign, even though those other tools might use it differently, this gives us the ability to say, okay, holistically, what do I need to have to execute? Or what am I missing? Because I'm seeing all these options to add assets to a marketing campaign. And it's like, boom. And I've got like a little screenshot that you're seeing right now on the screen of just showing CTAs legacies, but there's all the assets HubSpot can take from landing pages, call to actions, emails, marketing events to social posts to, it just keeps going. And what I want to get across is that's how you should be thinking about your campaigns. Now, when you go through and you're like, okay, look at all these things I can add, even web pages, because you might have budgets. And I forgot the biggest one altogether, blogs, right? We're not just going to go write a blog. That blog should always be associated to a campaign. Now, one caveat is campaigns might not have a started end date. It might be an ongoing like demo request. That's my campaign. These are my call to actions. And it also might be going after a different audience. So think about too, your campaigns could be segmented into different target personas, and they could be around a date, they could be ongoing, or they could be around a different part of your funnel, from top of the funnel, middle of the funnel to the bottom. And if we go into the flywheel effect, could this be a customer happiness campaign that we're always making sure we're keeping our customers happy, we're showcasing our customers, we're delighting them so that they turn back into your biggest promoters, so then you can keep that flywheel going. So again, when you're thinking about HubSpot campaigns, it doesn't just have to pertain to the sales side. It doesn't have to pertain to only marketing, and it could also pertain to customers after you've closed them. So think about it from a full life cycle, and then think about how you need to add all these collections, all these assets into a campaign itself. Now, diving into what most people get wrong about marketing campaigns. I've hinted a little bit at this, but a lot of people think, well, there's no reason for me to set up a marketing campaign because it can't really track my ROI. It doesn't really focus on a sales impact, or it might not focus on retention or XYZ, because they might be used to another system like Salesforce or something like that. But what I want you to understand is that HubSpot can track what you need it to track based on the campaign's goals. So if you're tracking maybe engagement, maybe I'm tracking new contacts, maybe retouching contacts. So those people I'm seeing that happen, right? How many new contacts am I getting from this campaign? That's great. How many existing contacts am I getting to resubmit forms, to download PDFs or download offers? When you think about it that way, HubSpot campaign tool can be very beneficial to you of saying, look, hey, the top of the funnel campaign's doing this. Our middle of the funnel campaign's not doing this. What are we missing? We're missing the mark here. I can easily look at that. And yes, it might not be sales ready campaigns, but then when you get into the bottom of the funnel, those would be sales ready campaigns. And then hey, this one is actually tracking ROI, even though all these other campaigns affected that customer's journey. So just think about it from a collective effort of assets that go towards a single goal. And it can be used for inbound. It can be used for re-engagements, win-backs, all those fun things. The other thing that a lot of people get wrong is external tracking. They're like, well, I don't need to spin up a marketing campaign. I'm doing all this in this other one, or I've got somebody else that I partnered with who's running the event. No, don't. Sorry. You're you're losing a chance to track it. And I've got this awesome link, and I'm sure you all have used it. I'm sure you've seen it, but has anybody ever seen the campaign URL builder? Put in the chat pane, yes, I've seen it or I've used it. No, I have no idea what this campaign URL builder is. Let's see. Put it in the chat pane. What we got? I'm impressive. Okay. Yes. So right now we're trending more no's. That's okay. I have not seen it. Yes. So this was the tool within Google Analytics. Well, it was outside of Google Analytics, but it was used in Google Analytics to track your campaign efforts. How is my campaign doing? Or I'm generating a link that might be going on social media, and I want to make sure it's tied to the same campaign or something like that. So when I look at, let me go back to my slides. When we come back to tracking, people think, oh, well, I shouldn't have to do a campaign in HubSpot because I'm going to track it somewhere else, or I'm somebody else is sending the emails. No, the HubSpot campaign tool and the track link tool within the campaign tools allows you to easily create tracked URLs for the assets and the landing pages that you want people to go to that you can share to somebody else. A lot of our clients have partnered with, say, maybe a venue to run a huge event, or even put ads in magazines or even on a billboard. And they always come back to me and say, well, how can we track that engagement? How many people came to that landing page from that specific asset? Now, if you think about it from a call side, you can do that with call tracking. There's a lot of tools out there like CallRail, AirCall. You can see very granular, hey, this campaign did X, Y, and Z. From a marketing standpoint, a lot of marketers have this forethought thinking, well, I don't need to track it. I'll just put our brand URL like imageinabox.com. And then I have no idea. I just have a huge spike in direct hits. I don't know why. And I've lost all that analytics. All we can do is guess that there was a good spike from something. We don't know specifically what it did. But if you knew, hey, I ran a billboard, this was the ad, or I ran a magazine ad that it was a national publication, and I had an ad in that spot, I'm going to use a QR code, or I'm going to use a unique link for that magazine that says it was published January 2024, and I know exactly the traffic that came from it. Using the HubSpot campaign tool, you can create these tracked links to any resource you have, like any website, any PDF, anything, and you can track the engagement. That's why it's so key to think holistically about your marketing campaigns. All right. Now, I'm going to switch over to a portal real quick and show you those things real quick. Dive in. So I'm in my HubSpot portal. I'm going to bring my view over here, and then I'm going to go down to marketing campaigns. And what you can see here is I got a test hug event. I've got these other things. And when I jump into it, I can see all the assets that are associated with it. And this, again, this is a demo portal. I don't have a lot. I can add any assets here, from marketing events to static lists to workflows. How are those workflows aiding in my customers? Are they driving that customer lead down the path? All right. If I go look at landing pages and web pages, what other pages should be directly associated with this campaign? And then same thing with blog posts and call to actions and forms. It's really key to add all these assets, because then your reporting will get more and more details. Feast of information. Okay. So then you can get a better understanding of how your campaigns are tracking. Now, my favorite thing is creating tracking URLs. So if I put in here, we're going to put in google.com for the fun of it. Look at that. The UTM campaign is already set. My source, I can pick, hey, this is going to go through another email provider. And let's just say partner account, right? Not through me. And it's going to be blast number 1. And then the term's going to be CTA, something like that. Now I can create, let me create another one. And they said they're going to send 2 email blasts for us. Perfect. Now I've got that resource tracked, linked, And then what I do is come down here to the traffic side, expand, say view tracked URLs. I send them the short URLs to those customers that I've partnered with. So then there's no question as to what link I gave them. It is very specific. I outline it saying in blast 1, use this link, in blast 2, use this link. And then we're even able to create. Now, this is huge even for companies that have huge departments or cross brands inside one parent company, because sometimes they might use different systems. And this dealt with this exactly. One part of the business used HubSpot, the other part used MailChimp. MailChimp side of the business was going to send out a promotion about the HubSpot side of the business, and we didn't want them to mess up our reporting. So we send them links. We do that to keep the tracking all in a single system. All right. Now, I know in this demo view, you're not really seeing a lot, but you can also see attributes, contacts created, contacts here, interactions by source. So now when you start thinking about, hey, the most dreaded question when your boss comes in, how'd that campaign go that we did so much effort on? I know the team generated 5 blog posts or 10 blog posts. I know we pushed out 50 social posts. I know we sent, say, 5 to 10 emails. How did it go? And you're sitting there going, okay, how can I pull all this reports in one view where he can get all of his questions? Hello, attribution. You can look at contact created date, deal created, revenue. You can even get crazy if you're an analytics person, switching the attribution model, which first touch, last touch, U-shape, and there might be one more. Yeah, time decay. So I'm not going to get into those. That's a whole other topic of how you attribute your business. But again, it also goes to what's your goal of the campaign. When you're able to look at this, you're like, boom, okay. And you know what? I need to add some tasks because we need some social media images created. Let me assign that in HubSpot to my graphics person and say, hey, this is the campaign goal. I need 6 images back. Can you create them? Boom. I can do that. It's assigning it to the campaign. And then all that is tagged, tracked in the campaign itself. I love this because it keeps your campaign organization simple. Everybody from the team can access everything they need. Now, assets would all be listed here. And then same thing with attribution and then your budgets. Now, budgets is something that HubSpot is slowly advancing. And I really like this idea because as you create a budget, okay, so let's say Google Ads, okay, this is for search only. And let's say we want to spend 15,000. And then I want to come back to Google Ads, display ads at say 5,000, boom. So now we can see here, hey, this is what management approved from a campaign standpoint. Now, when you're going to your ads platform or even looking at marketing ads, as we should integrate, you can now then say, cool, you know what? I've got some spend. Now, the cool thing is we've got this request out with HubSpot. As that campaign sees money spent, we want to see the budget automatically update. But you also might have some fixed costs of venue space, okay, that you can say, hey, the price was, we want to stay between the 2,000 price and we venue at 1,500, right? So now I'm able to see, boom, we still have that much left. What's going on? And you know, as you do your ads reporting, so ad spend, we'll say we're at 10,000 right now. Boom. And I can come back and add, I can update and delete. But we do have a request in with Google. That's funny. With HubSpot to say, hey, we need this updated live. As if there's any campaigns that are tagged to this campaign, we want the budget the ad spend to automatically pull out. That would be an awesome feature. And we've got that out there. And then a new little feature, beta, is just showing you what's going on, who's done what. All right. It's a good little thing. Just again, to keep new. This is new. I hadn't even played around with this much, but this right here is a fun way to see who's working on the task, what new assets were added, what landing pages, and those kind of things. So this is the fun side of campaigns. Now, coming back to our slide deck here, advanced usage. Now, before I get into my favorite advanced topic, advanced tactic, I'm like so excited about this. Um, I want to talk about some really good rules for campaigns. First off, every campaign should have a goal. And the goal could be generate new contacts, right? And that's not what we call smart. We want those goals to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time oriented. Okay. So when you think about a acquisition campaign that might run always, okay, but I want an acquisition campaign that's got a smart goal. And that smart goal would be I want to generate 400 new contacts every quarter. It's ongoing, but now I know my terms, right? Every quarter, I want to see a new number of contacts over 400. Are we hitting that? I can easily answer that question in the campaigns tool. Other items that need to be said is if the campaign is seasonal or time specific, you need to put their dates in there. So then when you come back and look at that campaign, when I talked about my summer campaign drive of keeping it simple, May to August, put those dates in. So when you run next summer's campaign, you're like, oh, that was the dates we used. Okay, we need to do that date range again. This worked well. This didn't work well. And you're able to then see what's working, it's not working. The other item is knowing who the target audience is. So when you're setting up a campaign, it goes back to marketing 101. Who are we targeting? What's the offer? Okay. What's our goal for them to do? Generate new content, downloads. Okay. Then what assets do we need? So always think about that when you come up to a campaign or someone's like, hey, we need to drive more business. Okay, well, let's do a campaign. What's that campaign's name? What's the timeline? What's the goal that we're going to measure ourselves on? And sometimes, as I said at the beginning, it might not be top of the funnel. It could be middle of the funnel. It could be bottom of the funnel. Knowing who you're targeting, knowing what you're targeting with, and knowing your date range will tell you what the call to action needs to be for that persona. You know your business, you know your persona. That's how you can drive it that way. So, my next and favorite tactic of campaigns. A lot of businesses run campaigns that repeat. They might have a different image, they might have a different graphic, but there's this awesome feature in marketing campaigns that I love. And love's a strong word. I really like it a lot. And yes, it is the clone tool. Clone. Now, what do you mean by clone, Justin? Has anyone that has used marketing campaigns ever clicked clone? Go ahead and drop it in the chat pane right now. Yes, clone, no clone. Let's see here. No. Okay. The no clone, that's funny. The clone button will be your best friend. Reason being is when you clone a campaign, let's go back to this. Let's go back to here. And what we're going to do. So, slides updated. Yep. And so I've got the 2024 conference. I've got all these assets with it. When you hit the clone, because you know you're going back or you're doing that campaign and it's a seasonal campaign, clone it. Why, Justin? Why do you say clone it? Because it takes all the assets you just did and clones every one of them, and you're set up to now run it. Go edit, tweak, change the wording, change the offer as need be, and you have now just cloned the emails, the social posts, the workflows, everything you need to execute faster. This is why I love this tool. This is no tool. No tool has ever, in a campaign reporting side, has ever solved this for me. It's always been, okay, I got to go find, wait, what were all those landing pages? And what people have done in the past is go through Google Analytics or a reporting tool and say, now, which ones did we use? And they're looking at all the traffic that hit landing pages. Instead of saying, cool, these were actually the assets we used. And if I go here, boom, 2025, and it's an awful name, so don't ever leave it to that. But it comes in and clones it, and it's still going because it's so long. There's the 2025 campaign. So clonable 25 campaign, boom, save. My name was too long beforehand. That's why it didn't do well. But it put the 3 dots. I love it. But you can see here's a 2024 campaign clone. This button will save your sanity. It will also say, wait a minute, do we need that asset? Even if it cloned it, delete it because you went back and looked at the reporting and said, hey, these emails didn't do good. Let's rewrite them. Let's try a different tactic. Or, hey, these social posts didn't hit the mark. Let's try a different one. Or they did. This is your thinking when you're running a campaign, and utilizing this tool of cloning will make that execution faster. And one of the ways to gain back more time up for a marketing person is by cloning repeatable tasks. Don't click 15 times to copy the landing page, and then you forget to copy the thank you page. Clone them from the campaign, and you're set. This is, I know I'm beating a horse here, but I just want you to realize how powerful this is to make your life a little bit simpler. And this is one thing why we love HubSpot, because they put in these features that are, I mean, I can't say it enough. Look how small that button is. None of y'all use it, and that's okay. It's one of those features that you're like, oh, wait, what's clone? Boom. Now I know what clone is, and now I can actually use it because I understand what it does. With that, I'm going to switch over to Q&A. I really hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, now the time is to drop them in the question and answer box. I got my fan above me. It's not twirling yet. I should spin it like that. That would be fantastic. We got 2 questions. Awesome. Katie, excellent question. Does the task sync with systems like Asana? No. So that is, or even Monday. I know you put Monday.com. From my understanding, in the HubSpot integrations with Asana and task management, it is not there. Let me look real quick. It might sync. Let's see here. Depends on the integration type and what it does and what you need it to do. So looking at the integration, it does not sync. It flows company deals and contacts over for the Monday.com integration. That is a great question, and begs the question of, well, do I put a task in HubSpot or do I put a task in my task management? Always put a task in task management. Okay. I know the campaign tool has that feature, but again, that feature is for people who don't have a major or a standalone task management or a project management tool on that side. I hope that is good there. And then, is the URL tracking code similar to the UTM generator that you all shared in the Help Center? The Help Center, are you talking about, Katie, the gear? When you say the Help Center, I'm going to ask to bring you. No, I can't. I can't ask to bring you off mute. Okay. Let me go back to the chat side. So when you're creating, let's see here. So I created a URL. Sorry, I jumped down. I missed the question there. And I'm trying to thumbs these up, okay, as I've answered them, but it's not showing me. Oh, there we go. Answered live. Yes. So we're going to say there. Oops. So how to create, UTM in the tracking code. That's in the blog post link there. So Katie just dropped that in. Thank you, Katie, for dropping that in. That what she is referring to is, let me reshare my screen, is helping marketers with UTM category URLs. So let me share my screen again. She is referring to this awesome article. I'm going to drop this in the chat. Um, so that's it there. She is referring to this. So the campaign tool, the tracking tool, is building the UTMs, the UTM campaigns, the UTM mediums, the sources automatically for you. So you don't have to think about it. Okay. It does it for you. And that's the beauty, because when you stare at a screen like this, you're like, okay, what's the campaign ID? I don't know. It says Google Ads. Well, maybe I don't need it. Do I have to have it when I'm building it? So you get into this state of, well, is the source PPC? I don't know. Let me go look at that one document. Look, and I even have it bookmarked. I'm not scared to show it. This was from years ago. Okay. I haven't updated my bookmarks because I don't use these anymore. I don't have to, because I'm like, okay, wait. So the channel is social. So I need to use in the medium or the referral source or email. So you get into this state, and that's what this article is talking about, the UTM tracking codes. But when you use for a campaign, so going back to my campaign, opening up my Hug and say create tracking URL, it is building those UTM parameters for you. So if I show on, this is an awesome question because this is great. You see how it's got the source here, source here, source here. And if I copied the URL, this is going to be funny. Let me share this tab. If I copy the URL, you'll see that it says the UTM. Well, you don't see it here. Let me drop this in. You'll see that it has, we're going to zoom in, the UTM campaign of Hug, which is my campaign name in HubSpot, the UTM source, which was email, because that's what I selected it as, the UTM blast, or sorry, the UTM medium is blast 2, and then the term CTA, because that's what I put them all in, because I know what I'm giving the external source. Like I used in the example of the magazine, this might be QR code, okay? Then UTM content was partner account. That, when I see that come through in this tracking, you can see all that details. I can't show you live in a portal because it would disclose some of my clients' details, but you have to trust me, is that it saves you so much questions, because you're just like, oh yeah, the terms. And I've even done, so when I share, create a new link, when I say email name, medium is definitely going to be email. Okay. Then here, term or the medium might be image instead of a text link. Because as we know, we've got to put that link in 3 or 4 times in an email, so as the users aren't going to see it just the first time. So I might link a word, and then below it have the big call to action, and then down in the footer have another call to action. And I'm labeling those all individually, which then gives me the analytical data to say, where are users clicking? Are they downloading images, or are they clicking the text link? Because if they're clicking the text link, then I'm going to put more emphasis in my next email in text links. Okay. So it's really big from that. And so entered live, UTM similar shares. Yes. So we're good there. All right. So, and Katie, you all of a sudden started dropping all your questions or all your chats in the Q&A, not the chat. So I do this all the time. It's Bevy. Okay. So laugh out. And you did it again. All right. So Katie, we work in multiple systems. Let me click this time. Okay. Answer live. We're going to do this. So we work in multiple systems. Our B2B partners are in HubSpot. Our B2B customers are in a homegrown system where we use WordPress and Google Analytics. All right. Not bad. Okay. I grew up with WordPress. That's good. All right. I haven't been able to set up / track the full B2B to C campaign where we can track activity in HubSpot via emails, landing page, vice versa. So is it possible to set up a full B2B to C campaign across systems? So you're driving from HubSpot, you're driving people to the B2C partner side, right? To your B2B customers, right? And you want to track. So this is where the big caveat is having the HubSpot tracking code on that homegrown website. because then it's going to feed everything back into, okay, into that analytical powerhouse of HubSpot. Okay. So if you don't have the tracking code, the HubSpot tracking codes, the HubSpot and WordPress, there's a WordPress plugin for it as well. You won't see that. Okay. So, and that's where Google Analytics would show you the same campaign names as if you're using the link builder. Okay. Or sorry, the create tracking URL in HubSpot. I'm having trouble, Katie and Bevy. I can't bring you. Let's see if we can do this. I'm going to bring you a presenter and you can ask your question live if you'd like.
I love this. Thank you.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I was like, man, how am I going to explain this? So anyway, okay. This is a tricky one. So I was trying to explain that. Okay. If I set up a campaign in HubSpot, it's super easy to be able to track all of the emails, blogs, call to action button, everything that we have in HubSpot that we're creating for our B2B partners. Where it gets tricky is if we send an email in Vero, let's say, to a completely different audience, and we want to track like open rates, conversion rates in HubSpot, I haven't been able to do that because there's not a URL for the email. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. No. Okay. Someone asked this question in the developer Slack. Okay. Where, how can we track another email platform completely and see the reporting in HubSpot, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to.
Okay.
So that's the simple. The thing that you can get is all the links to be HubSpot links to track those. Okay. So using the tiny URLs that HubSpot gives us. The other, because are you driving those emails that go out? Are you driving them to landing pages or a WordPress website or a HubSpot website that has the tracking code installed?
It's all different things, but
Okay.
usually it's like a landing page,
Okay.
or it could be like a gift card code that they're claiming.
Gotcha.
Yeah, multiple.
So, and you said Arrow, is that right?
Vero, Vero. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. So I was just looking at the MailChimp. Okay. Because I knew HubSpot has a solid MailChimp connector. It's not going to work the way you want it. Okay. The only way is you getting that list that you would typically send in Vero is sending it through HubSpot. That's the only way you're going to get that information. Okay. As of right now, there's not a pixel per se that you can add to those emails to then show in like a contact record, hey, he opened or she opened and clicked. Okay. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. You're not the first to ask for that. That would be amazing. There might be a way from a data sync to bring that information in, but it doesn't look like there's one right now. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you. We're migrating our whole B2C audience over into HubSpot in the next quarter. So I was trying to find a short-term fix, but thank you.
Yes. The short-term fix is just use the campaign tools and create tracked URLs and just know, okay, well, this is how many, we know what we sent in that platform. Okay. This is how many clicks we had. Right. And I would label like the source or the UTM medium as Vero, right? So then you could easily narrow down and say, look at all the Vero emails and what email itself was the title. And then what was the term or medium of that link. So text, medium, header, footer, bottom, and how much did it drive traffic wise, right?
Awesome.
So you could do that.
Thank you.
Yes.
And while I have you, I have one more question.
Uh-oh.
Does
she's hijacking it now?
I'm so sorry, everybody. Tableau dashboards and reporting. Do you guys have do you have an opinion on being able to take the campaign dashboard, and if we are working across systems, be able to feed into Tableau to create a more holistic view. And then that's my question.
So I would look into DataBox or something like that. Okay. Because there is, so I don't do anything with Tableau. Okay. My goal is to keep a company always in HubSpot for reporting. Okay. And so when you sync or need to sync externally, there is a lot of data connectors out there. I know Google just purchased Looker, which is now they just replaced Data Studio with Looker. That would be like the same thing as Tableau, is just saying, okay, what integrators, and there is an integrator out there with HubSpot. I just don't know who it is. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming. All right, James, I'm going to answer that one live. Do you know of any developers working in the campaign tools? I would love to provide some feedback within them. Shoot me a message, and I will find that contact and shoot you that contact as well. Okay. I don't have a direct answer for that. Okay. Gotcha. So Magdalene, I'm going to bring your question up and let me find you so you can ask that question live, because that is an excellent question. Now that I know what I'm doing. Okay. Come off mute and let's chit chat. How are you?
Oh, there we are. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Magda, and my question here is regarding so I've been doing a little reading, as you say, the URL that I create in HubSpot. I take that URL, I then send it to my content creator, who is going to embed it into her piece. And then I'm assuming that that link still redirects to whatever she wants that person to do. The clicker then gets redirected to her landing pages or her content. And because it's not in my HubSpot system yet. So she is running an ebook download in an external system, and I want to see everything that happens with that download campaign.
Gotcha. So what you would need is the location. One, you need the HubSpot tracking code on her site. Okay. So then you can track visits, those kind of things, and clicks. Then wherever her location is, if it's a form submission that you need to send people to, I'm going to share my screen real fast. When you're creating that tracked link, you always have to put in the destination. So you need to know from your content person, where are we sending them? And that's this first link right here. Because then you can say, okay, look, this is my ebook campaign that I'm running with her. It's going to go to this form or this landing page. And then as you move to HubSpot, you would still put in that link. Okay. But when you're running everything through HubSpot, you don't have to create tracked links for HubSpot assets. The tracked link, just for everybody, is for external people outside of your HubSpot sphere. So when I'm creating an email, let's just say I'm creating a news blast. Okay. And this one happens to have business units, but I'm just going to go and select. I don't know why it defaults to these. Let's go to the drag and drop. That looks pretty. Boom. We're going to go bright yellow here, so my face gets a sunburn. You've set up the email. I'm not going to do that. But when you go into settings, there's a little option. It says attach to a marketing campaign. And this is where you want to say, oops, sorry, I zoomed in. Boom. Open Office. That's it. Now, this email, all the links, you don't have to put in tracked links because HubSpot knows what campaign it goes to. So you don't have to worry about that. That's the beauty of having everything in HubSpot. On the flip side, when you're working with external partners, providers, anything like that, like what Katie was talking about, what you're talking about, Magdalene, is you just need to give them a link that's tracked and measured, and we already have the tracking code on their site, so then we can see the full traffic site. Okay. So that's what you need to do there when you're working with external. And once you get everything in HubSpot, including the forms and even the follow-up with the PDF or the ebook and all that, you won't have to create track links. You'll just want to assign it to a campaign. Okay.
Right. That's the future. Thank you very much.
Yes. The future looks great. Awesome. Thanks for coming. All right. So I'm looking down. Sorry, laugh out loud. Does the email tracking work with MailChimp? So, Chris, excellent question. What we have seen is you can use the MailChimp analytics. You have to enable it, and then you have to give it. MailChimp modifies the UTM tracking tags just ever so slightly. And it's really annoying because they add a lot of pre or post text to each word. So what we recommend is doing what I just described. So I'm going to share my screen again. And I forgot to bring you off mute in case you have a follow-up question. Let me do that real quick while I'm getting my slides up. So bringing Chris up, and I'm going to bring this over here. So when I'm in that campaign, and you're sending an email, that's where I would use this create tracked link, because I know it's going to go through a different email provider, but I want to ensure no matter what MailChimp does to the tracking, it actually comes to the landing page of my choice, which you would put in that link anyways, but I want to make sure the UTM codes and everything are correct. And this is how I typically handle that, by doing my own URL and then using that in MailChimp. And then I don't turn on the Google Analytics integration with MailChimp, so there's no chance of it mucking up or adding 2 additional like UTM campaigns to the URL. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
All right, let me look back through. I hope y'all are enjoying this. Let's see here. Dismissed, answered live, dismissed, answered live, answered. It looks like we got everybody. This has been awesome. Yes, Looker Studio is same thing as Data Studio. They just Google, we laugh about it, is that Google just put a new icon on it, and it's the same platform, even though they bought Looker. So I really do appreciate everyone coming. I hope you got something out of this and you've enjoyed it. I am going to stop the recording and just close up, but I'm here if you have any other additional random questions. Again, thanks for attending the Huntsville Hug. Oh, I forgot to share. Hang on. I got a link for everybody. Don't just jump yet. Join all the events at chat pane. Here we go. The next one coming up is all about using the HubSpot mobile app and how it can really streamline your networking and your follow-up sales processes for your sales team, even for the marketing team, as well as you make connections and those kind of things. Because as we know, as we attend marketing events sometimes, or even sales events, you might create a connection for somebody else in your company. How can we streamline that whole process? And that's what we're talking about, and all the beautiful, wonderful nuggets of the HubSpot mobile app. With that, folks, I hope you have an awesome, blessed afternoon, and thanks for attending the Huntsville Hug. I think I did this right.